if you're considering buying a car as your first car, there are certain things or there are certain common mistakes I know every first-time car owner do. And that's why I just felt it wise. I'm going to run them through here just so that it can help you save some money on the long run, right? So it will be in no particular order. But there's just a whole story that I'm going to tell you. So just, I'm sure it will be interesting all the same. All right, so owning a car for the first time comes with a lot of good, bad, and ugly sides. All right, number one is you become very unproductive within the first week. Yeah, I said that. You become very unproductive because you just, everywhere becomes a very enjoyable journey for you because you just want to ride there. Your friends are like, Alpha, I'm going so, don't worry, I'll take you there, don't worry. So, like, you just want to, it comes with, the experience. You just want to explore and, it's like everywhere is just a short distance with your car. All right, so don't worry. Between a month or two, it wears off. That feeling wears off, and you become very tired. And apparently, you start considering the more logical things, which is fuel, distance, and also your time as well, because you just discover that yes, you've exhausted the excitement. So now is the real thing. All right. So that's aside. On the other hand, if you're considering buying a car, there are certain cars that I feel as a first-time car owner, you shouldn't, for whatever reason, buy those cars. All right? So look at it from this point that you want to date a woman or you want to get married to a woman and you're going for a baddie, a girl who's for the glam. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just up there. Yes, you might have some level of money at that point in time to afford her needs. But what's the consistency plan? What's the longevity plan? She says, I don't eat any food that is below a certain heat level. I don't eat certain proteins. Can you afford that or can you keep up to that? So these are the kind of cars who were far from it. All right, so these are the kind of cars we're talking about. And there are certain brands of cars that I'll mention that, I would recommend you not to buy as your first car. All right, so in no particular order, number one, top on the list, Mercedes-Benz. Actually, Mercedes, it's a fantastic luxury car. It affords you all the comfort, from the infotainment system to the drive functionality. It ticks all the boxes, but do not buy it as your first car. You need a car that can take every and any beating you give to it, right? So, and Mercedes-Benz, I don't look at it from that point that can take that and still smile. It will frown at you. All right, so the next car without any particular order is BMW. Those are top of the line kind of cars, and they demand or they require some form of attention, and as a first-time car owner, there are certain things you don't know about in terms of maintenance culture. There are certain things, loads of them, that you are not aware of, and I wouldn't advise you buy a BMW. All right, the next one is the luxury versions of Audi, and which I would say Audi TT, Quattro, and all of that. They demand some very delicate attention, to their drive systems, and you may not be able to afford or to keep up with the maintenance required for such vehicles. So avoid them at all costs. And another one would be, or on the last one would be Range Rover. I don't know why, as your first car, you want to go and buy a Range Rover. I know you just had that big break. There are other good cars you can buy that would take all your unforeseen laxities, I would say. So in all of this, I'm just trying to help you save money that you would just wish you had not did what you did. Let's switch things a little bit. If you're a first-time car owner or you're considering buying a car, there are certain people that you should avoid buying a car from. almost everybody now on the internet or on your social media network, you see them once in a while, they are advertising cars and all of that. Please pay keen attention to what I'm about to say. All right. So, having known the brands of cars to avoid, the next is the kinds of people to avoid buying a car from. Number one is buying a car from a woman. Okay, so I mean no disrespect, but I know you guys will come for me afterwards, but I just have to say what I need to say. Do not buy a car from a woman, or if a woman was the owner of the car, do not buy a car from her. You know, oftentimes you see the seller or whoever is marketing that car would come over and say, see, now woman can get this car. I know women, they need to get where to go and all of that. See, back on the story, or the backstory of that is simply that women do not go through the hassles of properly maintaining their cars. And even if we have, it's just a fraction, it's just a 1% fraction of them that actually do their due maintenance as at when due. A woman would drive the car until it breaks down, don't fix it. I think it's more like a cultural influence, because a lady would not really want to go spend her day at the mechanic. It's really not their thing. But of course, the salon, they'll spend the entire day over at the salon. It's fine, it's perfect. But at the mechanic, no. So, and also they have this culture that the mechanics are overcharging them for something that could have been fixed. They just have that opinion or idea that for every time they go to the mechanic workshop, they are being overcharged. So that actually drives them away from the mechanic workshop, sort of. So, and a woman would literally drive the car until, like, just to buttress that fact, the other day I was driving out of my street and there's this lady that was driving in, and I could notice, or I could hear her, what's it called? Her hub was hubbing. Her bolt joint was joining. Like, I could hear the clunking sounds and all of that. I had to call her attention that I think your bolt joint, your entire suspension system needs attention. She's like, oh, okay, no problem. Subsequently, or some few days later, we still passed ourselves, and I was still hearing those sounds. So it's not something that they are used to, or, if it doesn't break, don't fix it. Until the car stops moving, they can't fix all of that. So that's more like for the woman. So that's my own idea of do not buy a car from a lady. Next on my list is, you see, you that have gathered all that money to buying that your first car, and you see distress sale. See, not all distress is distress. Some will come to distress you. That word distress, you should be very afraid of it. Not all that glitter is gold. So for me, anything you see distress is just it's a marketing scheme to drag you that the price is good, you're having a good offer, all of that. I'm not saying that there are no distress sales, right? But see, if it was that distress, you wouldn't find it. I don't know if that makes sense, but the real distress sales, look, it will be gone before you say jack. So you that is thinking that you found a distress sale, that the price is good, that the vehicle is good, just know that you're about to be distressed. So avoid cars that have that tag. This is a distress sale. So you're thinking that, oh, you found favor. No, run away from such. Lastly, avoid people who talk too much. So imagine you bump into a car seller that would just, they have this great skill of salesmanship. It's a skill, it's perfect, it's okay. But, most times they oversell what you don't even need. So personally, you need to have an idea of what you need and be convinced exactly this is what I need. So anything other than that, please, can I have what I need? That kind of thing. Insist on what you need, because Imagine you wanted to buy a Toyota, but somewhere along the line, the guy probably he didn't have the Toyota you need, but he brings some other car, maybe a Lexus, and gives you all possible advantages of this Lexus over the Toyota you had intended to buy. So it's a plus to him to sell off his market. That is his product, all right? But for you, is that actually what you wanted, or you were talked into buying it? So at the end of the day, you find yourself in a very compromising situation that you just paid money for what you actually didn't want. And that can be very, very, very regretful. And this is something you have saved for years or for months. Yes, it must have been a big money that you hit somewhere, or your big break, and just wanted to give yourself that treat of a car. And having to spend it that way and live with regret, it's something I wouldn't want you to have. So this is why I had to curate all of this. If you find this helpful, please leave a comment below. But also, I'm sure the ladies will come for me, but actually, I'm so sorry that I had to say what I say. I know you guys can do better. Put more attention to your car and see if you can, spend some good amounts for your hair. Please spend some for your car. Just make them feel good too. They have feelings. Cars' lives matter. All right, see you on the next one.